told is a threat. Law enforcement is not saying much, but we do know the entire campus is locked down. We have several crews on the scene in Annapolis. Let's get right to our Shamari Stone with what he's learned. Shamari.
Hey, Tisha. Well, first, let me tell you that we have an update. Parents are telling us that their kids are still on lockdown, but two separate parents and a source show me that they received this saying brigade. I know not all are reading this, so if you do speak around that the midshipman whose photo has been going around, that is a false report and not a person of interest. They're also receiving an update stating that rumors were that there was an active shooter dressed as security or police. That is not true. Treat all police as police. And, quote, this is from an official here, according to two parents that are sharing this with me, that they were told, I don't believe we had an actual threat, but tensions are high and risk of miscalculation by our own team is the biggest threat. And we are about to do one more sweep of Bancroft, which is the hall here, and they're looking for accountability from the shipmen before they can give the all clear. So that is the update that we have. But one thing that we have confirmed that we do know, according to parents, you have this new information, but also they're stating that the school is on lockdown, and you can see the entrance right there. There were emergency crews within the last hour or so that left, did not seem to be in a rush. So here you have different information, but we are continuing to bring you the facts here on Fox 5 as they become available. Back to you.
Well, Shamari, tense moments out there, updated information and insight. Thanks so much. Now let's go to Sydney Persing. She is also in Annapolis. And Sydney, what can you tell us from your particular standpoint?
Tisha, we're on King George Street, right by the Gate 2 entrance here. We're going to zoom in for you really quickly so you can see what we see. It's pretty far back, but we can see a number of officers out there. What exactly they're doing, how many there are, we're just too far back and our vantage point is too blocked. But out here, it is pretty calm. There's a number of news crews out here, a couple of neighbors. There are some parents out here who have been texting with their children. They did not want to be on TV. But I'm going to bring in this gentleman, Tobin, who lives across the street. You can come here, Tobin. Talk to me, if you could, real quickly about just when you noticed something was going on.
So we originally heard the alarm. It was very loud. It was like 3 beeps, and then it said, everybody shelter in place. We have an active shooter. And so we heard that. We waited about 10 minutes, and then we saw about 8 cop cars approximately coming down the road, all going towards the Naval Academy entrance. Then we saw an ambulance, and then about 15 minutes following the original commotion, there was another alarm.
And Tobin, what is going through your head as you're seeing all of this unfold? I know there was a lot of conflicting reports, a lot on social media. What are you thinking and feeling as you're watching all of this?
Just completely devastated. You know, we have personal friends that are over there in the exact hall that the alleged shooter was supposed to be in. So we were very worried. We were texting our friends and family, asking if they were okay. And then just really shocked that the Naval Academy, with so much security, could have, such a just out of the ordinary attack, And
I know there's so much we do not know still tonight, but what were those friends of yours saying inside?
They were saying they were okay, but that they were all locked in their rooms and they could hear a lot of commotion. They saw lots of people running outside the windows, and they were just very scared.
I know it's been an emotional night for folks out here. Before we let you go, Tobin, is there anything else you wanted to say?
Just our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the children and students that are here. Oh, I shouldn't say children. I'd say young adults that are here experiencing this tragedy.
Tobin, we thank you for your time. We appreciate you speaking with us. So Tisha will be out here the rest of the night. Again, there is so much, of course, we do not know, but we are working to get you answers, and we'll join you later in our later newscasts.
Sydney, thank you so much for the update. We will continue to follow this story. Look for updates on air and online throughout the evening. Now to the latest on the murder of Charlie Kirk. One day after the conservative activist was shot and killed, police are scouring both the college campus where he died and the surrounding town for evidence and answers. Investigators still do not have an ID for the gunman yet, but are closing in thanks to new evidence uncovered. Fox News correspondent Kylie Schuyler joins us live tonight from Utah with the latest on who police are looking for. What have you learned?
Hi, Tisha. So FBI Director Kash Patel is now on the ground in Utah to oversee the investigation, and that's after officials postponed their afternoon update after they said the investigation was rapidly developing. Now, I will say we just watched a large motorcade drive into the crime scene, so maybe an update could be coming sooner rather than later. But what we do know right now is that the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk is still on the run, but authorities say they've gathered more evidence and they've released new details on the suspect. Investigators out early Thursday morning combing through the rooftop where they say a sniper fired the shot that killed the conservative activist. Now they're asking for the public's help to find this man, a person of interest dressed in dark clothing, a hat, and sunglasses. And they say they recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle they think was used by the shooter located in the woods near the college campus.
FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon.
Authorities reportedly found messages on the weapon and ammunition, though their meaning remains unclear.
We find ourselves today hunting a murderer who chose to violate our rights, the rights of an individual within this country.
The FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for anyone with information that leads to the identification and arrest of the gunman.
The suspect blended in well with a college institution.
The Turning Point USA CEO was a close friend and ally of President Trump, who announced he will award Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously.
Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people.
This afternoon, Vice President Vance met with Kirk's family and friends here in Utah, and right now Kirk's casket is on its way back to his home in Phoenix aboard Air Force 2. In Orem, Utah, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 5 News.
Kaylee, thanks so much for the update live from Orem, Utah for us tonight. Thanks again. There was a bomb threat today at the Democratic National Committee headquarters in D.C. This afternoon, Capitol Police swept the building in Southwest before later deeming the threat not credible. Police cleared and searched the building out of caution. A DNC spokeswoman thanked police and said political violence in any form has no place in America. In the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, police are out in force at key locations in D.C., including the White House and the Capitol. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald is at the White House after speaking with members of Congress, and he joins us with more.
Well, this is likely to only ramp up the scrutiny that's already been underway about security surrounding political figures and how they are protected both in and out of the government. Now, remember, this has been ongoing since not only that attempted assassination on President Trump last summer, but also the U.S. Capitol riot back in 2021. U.S. Capitol Police tell Fox 5 they are operating on what they describe as a, quote, heightened threat environment. They've investigated potential threats around the Capitol campus on Thursday and at the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee where there was a bomb threat. Virginia U.S. Senator Tim Kaine tells Fox 5 that all 100 senators recently had a security briefing. A former Homeland Security official tells Fox 5 these threats are increasing.
We hadn't had one during the 13 years I've been here. When a new senator comes in, there's an orientation and they talk about security issues, but we've never had a all 100 senators briefing about personal security.
As it relates to your surroundings, where you're going to be speaking, and all the rest, there are certain times and events where you will need physical protection.
At the start of this year, the chief of the U.S. Capitol Police testified on Capitol Hill that in 1 month they had seen 700 threats against Congress and 50 cases of fake swatting calls to lawmakers' homes. That's led to calls to double the Capitol Police Force's protection division from 250 to 500 officers. Still, folks tell Fox 5 at the White House, in the environment of political violence right now, it will not stop them from taking part in political events. U.S. Capitol Police tell Fox 5 for security reasons they are not going to divulge any of the specific details of their operations right now. However, they did tell us they are working closely with their federal, state, and local partners on this, quote, critical mission. Fox 5 at the White House. We'll send it back to you.
A local physical therapist is behind bars tonight accused of sexual battery and abduction, and police say there could be more victims. 34-year-old Samuel Young Choi on your screen is accused of inappropriately touching a patient before taking her cell phone. Fairfax County Police say the encounter took place on Innovation Park Drive on Monday. The victim alleges Choi took her to a private room, locked the door, touched her against her will, and spoke to her inappropriately.
We're supposed to have people that we can trust in these positions, and there should be accreditation for them if there isn't already. I'm not aware of what happened here, but in the abstract, it sounds horrible.
Court documents say the victim escaped by telling the physical therapist she had to use the bathroom. Samuel Choi is being held on no bond. An animal science lecturer at the University of Maryland has been charged for indecent exposure on campus. On July 19th, campus police say 2 adult camp counselors and a group of juveniles were walking in front of the chemistry building when Richard Apter exposed himself. The next day, an officer confronted him, and he said if it happened, it was not intentional. After reviewing surveillance video, officers received an arrest warrant last Friday. Apter has been placed on administrative leave. Montgomery County Police say 2 students are in custody after reportedly bringing a gun onto a school campus. It happened at Northwood High School in Rockville. Police say they recovered a BB gun during the investigation. Sky Fox flying over the scene this afternoon. The school went into lockdown, but that has since been lifted. Coming up, more ahead here at 8. Today marks 24 years since the attack on America by terrorists that killed thousands of people. We'll show you how people are remembering 9/11 nearly a quarter of a century later. We'll be right back. A single bell rang at 8:46 this morning, followed by a moment of silence and a bagpipe procession marking the exact time the first plane hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City 24 years ago. Ceremonies also took place at the South Tower at 9:03, marking the moment that United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower. In Pennsylvania, where United Airlines Flight 93 crashed, when passengers thwarted hijackers' believed plans of attacking the U.S. Capitol, and in Arlington when American Airlines Flight 77 hit the Pentagon. Here in the DMV, memorial services mark the anniversary of that tragic day, with more on how people across our area are remembering and honoring the lives lost in the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. Here's Fox 5's Bob Barnard.
Commander Patrick Dunn, United States Navy. At the National 9/11 Pentagon Memorial, the annual reading of names, the ringing of a bell. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump among the dignitaries, pausing this day to remember the lives lost when hijacked American Airlines Flight 77 that took off from Dulles Airport was crashed by terrorists into the Pentagon at 9:37 in the morning, September 11th, 2001.
In the quarter of a century since those acts of mass murder, 9/11 family members have felt the weight of missed birthdays and empty bedrooms, journals left unfinished and dreams left unfulfilled.
Arlington County is remembering the first responders who raced to the Pentagon on 9/11, 2001, a wreath-laying and moment of silence, an annual tradition honoring those who died and the heroes who stood up that awful day.
In the end, 59 people on the aircraft and 125 in the Pentagon perished. These 184 souls ranged in age from 3 to 71 years. As we pause each year on this anniversary to remember, their families are reminded of their loss every day.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser attending a commemoration and memorial ceremony at Engine Company 16 in Northwest, remembering 3 young DCPS students who were on Flight 77 that day.
Bernard Brown, Asia Cotton, and Rodney Dickens. We remember their teachers and guides who committed their lives to teaching, who were by their side: Sarah Clark, Hilda Taylor, Ann Judge, Joe Ferguson, and James Debonair.
This is a National Day of Service. At the D.C. Convention Center, some 1,500 volunteers from across the D.C. region are packing more than 400,000 meals for at-risk families to be distributed by the Capital Area Food Bank.
So 9/11 Day was created back in 2002 to actually take a day of tragedy and turn it into something positive.
And at Quantico National Cemetery today, volunteers are cleaning and beautifying grave sites with soft brushes and water. Bob Barnard, Fox 5 Local News.
Turning to the weather now, here's a live look outside at the White House right now, and it was a rainy day depending on where you were. Let's bring in Caitlin Roth back for more on what we can expect for Friday and the weekend.
Yeah, I know, Tisha, we've had some wet weather to actually contend with the past couple of days. And in fact, earlier this evening, big shower popped up over National Harbor and kind of slid to the south and west through parts of northern Virginia. But we will be firmly back into the sunshine for the weekend. And along with that sunshine, we'll be pretty warm, 80s and even near 90 by Sunday. So after so many weeks of fall teasers, we're going to go full back into the summer feel as we wrap up the official season. Showers are possible next week. We need them. We are still in a bit of a deficit, despite the fact that Reagan National has seen 2.5 inches of rain so far this month, most of which fell last Saturday night, but not everybody saw that last Saturday. So yeah, we definitely need some more. 81 degrees was our high temperature today, so closer to normal in terms of our highs. Let's check metro temperatures right now. 73 in D.C., Upper Marlboro and Waldorf. A little cooler down in St. Mary's County, where it's 64 in Leonardtown. Clouds kind of hung on for a while across the bay today, didn't really fully break. 67 in Bowie, 68 in Beltsville, and Northern Virginia back into Fairfax and Loudoun County. Temperatures are in the mid-70s. So here was our one shower today. I mean, we cleared out nicely through the late morning and early afternoon, but just around 5, 6 o'clock, skies darkened over National Harbor, Alexandria, and there is a gusty shower that formed and slid right down 95 before dissipating south of Dale City. If you were under it, it was kind of a downpour, but it was obviously very isolated. And due to this absence of rain, we have found with the drought monitor updating today, a moderate drought has returned to portions of northern Virginia and the Panhandle back into West Virginia. 62 degrees tonight as skies continue to clear. It will be a nice, cool, comfortable start to your Friday. High pressure building in from the north, so we'll have plenty of sunshine. It's a beautiful day. And in the afternoon, after that cool start, we'll see high temperatures nice and mild, 83 and right around normal for mid-September, as we'll get a nice warm feel during the heat of the day. And then we get even warmer into the weekend. The weekend will still be sunny and dry, low humidity, really, really nice. 85 on Saturday, and then, yeah, up to 88 on Sunday. Along with our rising temperatures, we keep losing daylight as those sunsets get earlier and earlier in our march towards fall. So the weather's kind of doing the opposite thing, but the calendar always stays the same. Sunset 7:18 this Sunday, 7:06 the following on our last day of summer. And then before September's up, 6:55 p.m. sunset before 7 p.m. The tropics remain quiet. Today marks the official peak of hurricane season, but we haven't had anything in the Atlantic Basin for weeks, and very little expected to develop except for a very slight chance of a storm over the next week off the west coast of Africa. So love to keep it that way. There's your 7-day. It's still really warm as we kick off next week, and temperatures stay above 80 with a chance of showers Tuesday and Wednesday. Tisha, back over to you.
Sounds good, Caitlin. Thanks so much. Meanwhile, as fall approaches, it turns out Virginia is one of the nation's top pumpkin producers. That's according to data from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The Commonwealth harvested 1,800 acres and 5.4 million pounds of pumpkins last year. That's up 50% from 2 years earlier. Illinois remains the largest producer in the country with more than 485 million pounds produced last year. Still ahead, hundreds of evictions in Maryland dismissed. Why some tenants there are finally seeing relief. And the rally on Wall Street continues. The high mark, the Dow Jones Industrial Average hit for the first time ever. That's next.
Let's get it. Yes, we'll get it. Yo quiero dinero.
Maryland Attorney General